apologize for the hiatus. All right, we're trying to get the studio set up. Thought I'd give myself that 30-second countdown and help out, but it is what it is. All right, y'all, we back. I've been away for a little minute, man. Whether y'all was aware of it or not, it's all good. Your boy got a random, um, well, like a little promotion at work, so I've been putting in some extra time, extra hours, doing it, getting it in that way. But it's your boy Tony the Savant. We are back. I've been gone for a week, man, and it's been so much stuff going on in the sports world that I started doing some pre-recorded and all that kind of stuff. But I said I'm gonna go ahead and just pull up, start my little morning show. We're closer to the afternoon right now, but I'm gonna do my very best to get a set time for the show for everybody out there. It's a little easier said than done right now with the schedule to get the kiddos and all that good stuff. So I am working, and never stop working. Hold on one more second. We put my boy Darian Hopkins. I'm gonna be joining him this afternoon, about 4:30 Central Time, 5:30 Eastern Time. We're gonna link up and do some talking. He has a very spectacular show. I've been trying to link up with D Hop for a while now. And so we got a little time on this here Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to everybody. I believe that's what today is. I'll be getting my Labor Day and my Veterans Day and Memorial Day, all that good. I just know we off work today, and God is good. So y'all enjoy y'all's holiday. I'm gonna enjoy mine and be bringing you some content all day today. But let's get to work. So y'all see the title of this episode one. Recently, one LeBron James coach came out, a former LeBron James coach. Now y'all know I try to do my best to keep the LeBron James videos to a minimum, but I had to get in my bag with this one because I let LeBron live last week when John Stockton came out and said he don't like how LeBron James move. You know what I mean? John Stockton is a point guard, arguably the best point guard that ever done it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to win rings, but respectfully, we still acknowledge John Stockton's impact, his greatness. Definitely in the top 10, almost top 5 of point guards to do it. And he recently came out, it was last week sometime, like I said, he said he don't like how LeBron James move. He said he don't like it. Said a lot of the stuff that us LeBron critics, of course LeBron's fans are going to call us haters. He said a lot of the stuff that LeBron critics been saying for years, about him managing the team and being passive aggressive with teammates, all that stuff. The thing about LeBron and LeBron fans, one moment, y'all. The thing about them, man, more so for LeBron, is that these class of people, LeBron and LeBron fans, they do passive aggressive stuff. They do a lot of gaslighting, and then they act like they don't do it, or they act like it never happened. This is the issue that most people have with LeBron James and his fans. Case in point, LeBron has been a part of an historic amount of NBA trades over the years. And everybody else would knock Michael Jordan for playing with Pippen. They'll knock Steph Curry for playing with Clay and Dre. They'll knock pretty much anybody. LeBron fans will knock anybody for playing with another, a player that, quote unquote, helped them get a championship. When LeBron James has been a part of an historic amount of NBA trades, guys, y'all understand this? Like we lost count. It was like 70 trades before he left Cleveland the first time. Now we're talking about all these trades since then. The Miami Heat turnover. You know what I mean? They had a different team almost every year outside of the big three and maybe a name or two. We're talking about Cleveland, all the turnover he's had mid-season. You know what I mean? Like it's not nothing to really laugh at, but it's just historical. I mean, it's hysterical when LeBron fans try to tell you one thing. They'll say, "Oh no, LeBron ain't no GM, LeBron just a player. He's just a player." But he'll take credit for a season, a trade in the middle of the season if the team is winning. You know what I mean? Everybody will say, "Oh, LeBron did that. He went to the front office and let them know he needed a champion." They'll do all of that cap. We know what we call it. They'll do all that cap. and then act like no, a month or two later they'll act like that none of that ever happened. You know what I mean? They'll say, "Oh, no, what?" And so all that to say this is that a former coach of LeBron James, David Blatt, came out and said that he got Michael Jordan as his GOAT. That Michael Jordan put the team, he put the us before the I, and then he didn't say he didn't knock LeBron James personally or even particularly. In fact, I think he still gave LeBron James too much credit. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, he did acknowledge that Jordan is his GOAT and that Jordan puts puts the us over the I, which we can all look as a direct shot at LeBron James, considering that David Blatt played or coached LeBron James, excuse me, on the Cleveland Cavaliers when he first returned. He coached LeBron. My boy Darian, hold on, let me get him in here, guys. D
What
Hop,
up?
what's up, man?
What's going on? What's up? You finally got me up here, man. I hear y'all talk about LeBron James, man, and I got some things to say.
Okay. Okay, more than welcome, man, because I have been accused of being a LeBron hater. I've been accused of all this kind of stuff. I think LeBron's one of the greatest to do it. And it's funny you walked into the show just at the right time. I think a lot of LeBron fans they try to ignore or omit some facts when things come out. I was covering recently. I heard about it yesterday. His former coach David Blatt. You familiar with that guy?
Yeah, yeah, I'm familiar with him. Yeah,
Did you hear about the headline of him saying uh, he's taking Jordan over LeBron in the GOAT debate?
I mean, why not?
I understand.
I mean, let's be completely honest. It wouldn't be a LeBron James if it wasn't a Michael Jordan,
That's,
or it wouldn't be a LeBron James if it wasn't for Kobe Bryant. Let's just keep it as realistic as it is for number one. And I heard you say something about stating that oh, Jordan had Pippen and stuff like that of what people were saying.
mm-hmm,
Let's not forget. People fail to forget that the Chicago Bulls built that team around Michael Jordan. They built it around him after they drafted him out of UNC. People fail to forget that Jordan failed so many times before he got to his greatness.
mm-hmm,
He never left. He never cheated his I wouldn't say cheat, but he never took the easy way out like LeBron James did in multiple times.
facts.
So for me, they went out in free agency and got role players. They didn't go out and get NBA All Stars. Yes, you went out and got Pippen, but was Pippen an All Star before he got there? No.
Yeah,
Pippen
thanks.
wasn't an All Star. You went out and got Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr wasn't an All Star. Horace Grant wasn't an All Star. Tony Kukoc wasn't an All Star. I mean, not even Tony Kukoc. Even before that, even before he even got there. Look at the role players that Michael Jordan had and still was able to win 6 championships without even having a superstar team.
Talk to him, D Hot. Talk to him.
So, so this LeBron and Jordan talk is not really talk because if you want to think about it, it's two different eras. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, LeBron plays in a softer era than Jordan had to go through. Jordan had to go through them bad boys of Detroit. How many times for him to get over the hump to get to the NBA Finals? I lose count.
Years.
The bad boys used to kill Michael Jordan every single year in the playoffs.
Facts.
But no, LeBron had to leave Cleveland after he got swept in the finals against the San Antonio Spurs, and then he left, went to Miami and teamed up with two other All Stars that was already solidified. So
Facts.
for y'all to say that LeBron is better than Jordan, he's not better in that case. Yeah, you might put up numbers, you might put up stats. I'm fine with that. But the fact that Jordan stayed with one team, even though he went to the Wizards at the end of his career, but those 6 championships in his prime, he did it without a true two other All Stars. Pippen would end up being an All Star once he got to Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And
So people, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, you good. I was gonna argue. I was gonna argue if LeBron. I mean, not LeBron. Excuse me. If Michael Jordan had the likes of Anthony Davis, like everybody says, like Jordan on the Wizards. Do you understand if Jordan had Kevin Garnett in 2002, his window of championships would have been extended as well, the same as LeBron's. And there's no knock on, like I say, LeBron. You said it too, D Hop. It's just a different era. Dudes are. It's a lot more freedom, and that's a benefit to the guys like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, who took the marketing game of the NBA essentially to another level, an unseen level. So now guys like LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, all these guys who have been, I like to say, the player entitlement era, not the player empowerment era. All these dudes have come along and reaped the benefits and been acting like divas ever since. But just to keep it on the main course, what David Blatt was saying, and this is something that I've always agreed with. As great as LeBron James is, he's never been about the team. You know what I mean? And I'll take that back. His first 7 years, he was about the team. I love the first, that first Cleveland LeBron. And it's just like ever since he went to Miami, dude started. That's when the antics started coming along. That's when all the, I need to, essentially tilt the talent in my favor, because LeBron James has been reigning supreme over the NBA for the last 10 years, and not because he's been dolo doing it like Michael Jordan did it. It's because he's been running with some of the best guys in the league at the time. You look pretty good when Kyrie can put up 40 and you can put up 40. But nonetheless, I just think that David Blatt was on point with that one. Who do you got as your GOAT? Maybe I asked that, D-Hop.
Of course, I have Michael Jordan as my GOAT of all time.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take anything away from LeBron James either. I think he's the GOAT of his generation.
Respect. Whoa, I got to argue with that one.
I think he's the GOAT of his generation, and I'm gonna say why. Even though that he had losses in the NBA Finals, even though that he had losses in the playoffs, we talking about his generation. Mind you, Kobe was on his way out. God forbid, he wasn't in the Kobe era. Kobe was already up there in age.
Yeah.
But the success that LeBron James got from leaving Cleveland, winning two in Miami, going back to Cleveland, winning one in Cleveland, going to LA and winning one in the bubble in that time when Kobe passed away. I don't think nobody had a stretch like that in his era, in that era of basketball. Now, all time is still Jordan. I think in any era, Jordan is the greatest of all time. And people could argue that because we could go back to, if you want to say Jordan in the generation, yes, because you could go back to the Bill Russells, you could go back to the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, you could go back to the Magic Johnson era. But I just feel like from my era, me growing up as a 90s, I'm an 80s baby, but I grew up in the 90s, Jordan was my guy. You feel what I'm saying? Then Kobe came along. Then Kobe was my guy. And then after Kobe, you really couldn't name any big time star until LeBron James came in. So that's why I say when LeBron James came in, he had Dwayne Wade, he had Chris Bosh, he had Carmelo Anthony, one of the top drafts of one of the top drafts of all time. But I just feel like LeBron, coming out of high school, he didn't go to college like the rest of those guys did. And the accomplishment that he had from his time to time, I think nobody did it better than him in his generation.
I respect that. I would contend with that though, and this is an argument I have with a good friend of mine. My boy named Marlo knows basketball and boxing. We go back and forth about this all the time. Okay. I would contend that Steph Curry is the GOAT of LeBron James era for two reasons. Well, hear me out, D. Let me hear. This is for one. But my number one reason that Steph Curry is the GOAT of this era is because he came out of nowhere and did it. Steph Curry is the son of an NBA player and had no real, NBA hype, in his draft. Nobody ever said he was going to be the greatest shooter until he actually accomplished it. So that's one of the reasons I say it. Two, the Golden State Warriors. I mean, we remember, the fun Golden State Warriors, Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, that 2008 run when they knocked off Stephen A. Smith, Dirk Nowitzki, and Dallas Mavericks. That 2018 Golden State team was fun, but outside of that, they were the clowns, jokes. You know what I mean? Outside of Monte Ellis having a big 50-point game every so often. That's my number two reason. Golden State, as we know them, Steph Curry built that team. And my last reason is that Steph Curry somehow, some way. Now he ain't got all the Finals MVPs. I understand, but somehow, some way, has accumulated the same amount of rings as the guy that we want to say is better than Jordan, better than Kobe. Not just the best of this generation. Steph Curry had the same amount of rings as the guy that allegedly is the GOAT of this era. So I wouldn't say Steph Curry is the GOAT. I've never said that, but I do say that he's my GOAT because what I witnessed from Steph Curry in the middle of the LeBron James era, in the heart of the LeBron James era, mind you, because Steph ain't start winning until 2015. That was LeBron James's 12th year in the league. You know what I mean? So
Which is true, but let me give you a quick rundown. Even though LeBron James came into the draft in 2003, right? And Steph came 2009 as the first overall pick.
mm-hmm.
People knew who Steph Curry was.
no,
They
no,
knew that he was one of the greatest college shooters coming out of Davidson. People knew that coming into it. He
mm-hmm.
knew that he was going to a bad Golden State Warriors team, and LeBron knew he was going to a bad Cleveland Cavaliers team. The difference between LeBron James and Steph Curry had Mark Jackson. Who did LeBron James had what? David Blatt? You can't compare the two when it comes to coaching.
Oh
Now,
no, no.
when it comes to Mark Jackson, he drafted Klay Thompson. He drafted Draymond Green. So I don't think Steph really built that team, but they built that team through the draft. Draymond Green wasn't no top prospect coming out, but Klay Thompson wasn't no top prospect coming out. So most of these guys coming out, they mixed it with the draft picks and a little bit of veteranship with Andre Iguodala. So they Mark Jackson mixed it. So reason why I say LeBron James is the greatest because he came out of high school. Of course, he was the hottest player coming out of high school. All the pressure coming on to him coming out of high school, going to a terrible Cleveland Cavaliers team that haven't made the playoffs in like 25 years before he got there. The Golden State Warriors was just as bad. Don't get me wrong. But Steph Curry plays a totally different position than LeBron James. LeBron James could do all five. Steph can't do all five. That's the little difference that I can say. I think Steph is one of the greatest shooters to ever do it. The greatest shooter to ever do it. I put him, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen is my top 3-point shooters of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3. It probably in no particular order, but they are my top 3-point shooters of all time. But I just look at it from a way that Steph Curry didn't take the Golden State Warriors to the NBA Finals on his own, like LeBron James did with a terrible Cleveland Cavaliers team that had Mo Williams and Varejao and those guys that was really unknown for that Cleveland Cavaliers team. Yeah, they got swept in the finals, but he got there at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say I think Steph is coming into his era, and of course LeBron is taking that step back because he's older. But I feel like right now, Steph Curry's time is coming too. As far as I think I just feel like an all around player like LeBron James makes him the greatest of his generation. He has other. I think Steph Curry is right next to him. Is LeBron? Is Steph? Is that? It's like this close. It's like this close. If Steph was another championship over LeBron James, then we can have that conversation. We can have that conversation. But Steph has to win another championship to go surpass LeBron James, in my opinion.
I respect that. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you this: if Steph Curry won another championship but didn't win a Finals MVP, let's just say they give it to Andrew Wiggins, would that still? Would you hold that? Would that? I'm gonna say like, would you put that as an asterisk against him and say that Steph Curry got to win another ring?
No.
Or would you say he got his 5th ring and
I don't care about like I'm gonna let you know now. I do not care about Super Bowl MVPs. I don't care about Finals MVPs. I don't care.
Man, I've always been.
I don't care. As long as you win the actual championship and you are the champions of that league, you are champion. That is bigger than a Finals MVP.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So I really don't care for Super Bowl MVPs. I don't care for Finals MVPs. I don't care about none of that. You have that ring as a team. That's all that matters to me. So even if Steph Curry wins it and doesn't win Finals MVP, and he still puts up the numbers that he puts up, is still legendary because he still won another championship. What? Steph got what 3 or 4 rings right now?
4. Mm-hmm.
About 4. So if you start past LeBron James, then we have that conversation. And we could look at the finals records for each player. Who has a better finals record? Right
Yeah.
now, it might be Steph Curry at this point.
Yep.
But if
No.
LeBron James, he could add to his legacy and add another win to his finals
Mm,
and not win finals MVP and still win a championship. You could do it either way. But for me, I feel like if Steph Curry, it would mean more for Steph Curry to surpass LeBron James than LeBron James to surpass Steph Curry because of what LeBron James have done since 2003.
yeah.
Because Steph Curry ain't start coming up. He came in 2009, but his best year started to come up in 2015. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit different. LeBron came in, and I think what in 2004, 2005, 2 years being in the league, he already went to the NBA Finals. I
Mm.
mean, the storyline tells itself. So I don't really care for Finals MVPs. If you want, at least you won you're a world champion at that point. Forget a Finals MVP.
I gotta make a few corrections on this segment, D Hop. When LeBron James and that team that went to the finals, did you know that they were a top 5, actually number 4 ranked defense? That team was constructed by one Mike Brown, who was a defensive stalwart. I think LeBron James's coaches get a lot of criticism, and nobody really understands that these dudes that coach LeBron James were all basketball geniuses, from Paul Silas. Did you know that? Even fun fact, I just found this out. Mike Malone, the coach of the Denver Nuggets, who just recently won the NBA championship. You know
Mhm.
that his dad, Mike Malone's dad, coached LeBron James in 2004.
I knew he was on that coach's staff. I didn't know Mike. I didn't know that was his son. That's the coach for the Denver Nuggets. That I didn't know, but I knew that it was a Mike Malone that was on that coaching staff on that year. That was that 2004 Cleveland Cavaliers.
2004. Yeah, yeah. He only coached them for a short amount of time too. I think it was in like 15 games. Wasn't very long, but
Okay, so I mean, it was good to know that he was. That's definitely a good fun fact there. Definitely a good fun fact.
and also the guy that drafted Steph Curry, Don Nelson, was the coach of the Golden State Warriors at the time. Mark Jackson didn't get there until 2011, which of course, he would have came in with Clay and Dre around that time. Um,
Hmm.
but a dude named Larry Riley, who Larry Riley has a very interesting history in the NBA. Him, and this is what another thing it's a parallel between Steph Curry and Michael Jordan's careers, because the same way Michael Jordan was drafted by Rob Thorne, or a guy that, he was with the Bulls organization for a long time.
Hmm.
He got fired the year after drafting Michael Jordan, and then Jerry Krause came in, and then Jerry Krause took all the praise and adulation. The
Right.
same situation happened with Steph Curry, as far as he was drafted by Larry Riley. Not a lot of people know this guy. And then a little while after that, Larry Riley was ousted because he was the one dude saying we need to build this franchise around Steph Curry, not Monte Ellis. So that was the whole reason why Larry Riley was outed, because he wanted to build around Steph. And we all know around that time, Monte Ellis was at the height of his powers. Um, and then the Golden State was just in a shambles as far as who they gonna go with, Monte or
Yeah,
Steph.
because Don Nelson was kind of on his way out as a coach for real,
Oh,
for real. 'Cause he couldn't win.
Don Nelson is one of the greatest coaches, also one of the winningest coaches of all time. I think he has the most NBA wins without a ring. So no,
Ex- ex-
he,
Agreed, but I'm just saying with that Golden State Warriors, he was on his way out because they couldn't win at that time, and
yeah,
that's when they decided to bring in Mark Jackson. If I'm,
yeah.
if I'm
No,
not mistaken.
no, you're right. Yeah, yeah. And Mark Jackson is the architect of the offense that we see right now, because Mark Jackson was the
Mhm.
first to come out to say that Steph and Clay are going to be the greatest shooting backcourt of all time. He said that in 2010 when everybody thought he was crazy, and lo and behold, that ended up coming into fruition.
Okay.
So I mean, it's just the Golden State Warriors. They have a very checkered history, and I'm only saying that because I think knowing coming from Chicago and knowing how the Bulls organization is, the Golden State Warriors organization, I feel like they're gonna be in the same limbo the day Steph Curry retires. They're gonna go through another 30, 40 year drought, much like my Chicago Bulls are doing right now. We ain't really did nothing since Jordan left, but okay, bro, we're gonna have to pick that up because I want to hit a few topics. Something that I know you love. Gonna talk about. My next topic was going to be 128 days until Houston. Do you think the Georgia Bulldogs can three-peat this season?
As a SEC fan, I don't. As a SEC fan, and as a Tennessee Volunteer fan, I do not want them to repeat. We
Oh
played
yeah,
them this year, so
respect.
I do not
Respect.
want them to repeat. But it really depends on their schedule because let's be honest, when it always comes to the national championship and it comes to the national champions, um, their schedules is always weak in the beginning of the year. Let's just keep it how it is. So
Yeah,
I
facts.
think they played what Tennessee Martin yesterday on Saturday, which was 48-0.
Yeah,
They played Ball State on this weekend. They got South Carolina, UAB, Auburn, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Florida, Missouri. They don't even play Alabama this year.
right.
Out of all these rankings, right? Out of all these rankings, it's only two teams that they play that's in the top 25, and that's Tennessee and Mississippi. Ole Miss, to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, to be determined, they do play Georgia Tech. So, I'm gonna be completely honest. It's a possibility that they can repeat, but it's really gonna go down to who they play in the SEC championship.
Fair
That's
deal.
really if they have to play Alabama or they have to play us or they have to play uh I'm trying to think of some other ranked teams that's out there. I mean, Florida is not a ranked team as of right now because they got smoked on Thursday night
Yeah.
against Utah. They got smoked on Thursday night.
Mm,
So yeah, if Ole Miss can upset them, if we can upset them, I think the two losses would get them outside of the playoff. Now,
mm.
just a reminder to everybody, next year it goes to 12 teams for the college football playoff.
Fair.
So even if you do have two losses, you can still make the college football playoff. But as of right now, with the four teams, if my guy Joe Milton from the Tennessee Volunteers can play well against this Georgia Bulldogs, we can knock them off, man. We really can knock them off. I want all the smoke, and it's going to be in Tennessee as well. I really hope that we can. I hope Ole Miss can knock them off. But if they can't and they go undefeated through the whole year, it's all about who they play in the SEC championship. LSU just lost last night. I don't see them being in the SEC championship, but they could probably bounce back. We just don't know.
Yeah.
But them three-peated, that's going to be tough because Nick Saban's not playing this year. He wants to beat Georgia this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to be tough. I can't say yes. I can't say no. It's really got to turn out how the season is going to go because college football is a game of upsets.
Amen to that, brother. Amen. And I'm nervous because I was a big Stetson Bennett guy. I ain't gonna say
Hmm.
big, impressed me while he was there. And Stetson's, he seemed, I want to say he seemed like one of those quarterbacks that was just NFL ready. Although he didn't have the big arm, big talent. He played the game from the shoulders up, and he seemed like a very smart guy. I'm excited to see what he does this upcoming season. I know he's back up in Tennessee to Tannehill right now. But anywho, Carson Beck.
Oh, you talking about Stetson Bennett?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to remember. Did he go to
He he
Tennessee?
he went he went to the Rams. He's backing up Stafford.
Okay, that's right. Okay, I knew it was, I couldn't remember exactly. I know he was in the blue jersey. But anywho, yeah, he'll be a
He'll be
quarterback.
fine. He'll be
Yeah.
fine.
And I like his college career, so hopefully it translates over because not everybody does that. But Carson Beck, he just seems like a little nervous right now. I know he's been in the Georgia program a couple years. He just seems like uh, he's a little nervous that first game. I was gonna say.
Mhm.
Plus the receivers, they ain't got their star-studded receivers just right now. The guys that's been winning there. But one dude that I like is that backup quarterback that they got. Man, that dude's throwing bombs. Yeah, at least two. I'm trying to say Vandergriff. You know what I'm talking about for Georgia, the backup.
With the backup quarterback?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the kid's name. because he didn't play much this last. Brock Vandegrift, yeah, Brock Vandegrift. You got a scouting report on him?
I really don't have a scouting report on him. I mean, well, the quarterback that they had for Georgia was Carson Beck. Um he played against Tennessee Martin where he was 21 of 31, 294 yards and a touchdown. But
Mm-hmm.
Brock Bowers is the guy that I'm looking at because he's people think that Michael Mayer coming out of Notre Dame last year was the next Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at Brock Bowers at Georgia.
Oh
He's
yeah,
best tight end in college football as of right now. If
Brock.
you wanted Brock Bowers is a dog. He's a
Yeah, he
dog.
reminded Travis Kelsey a lot. It's just as far as he can do. I love Gronk because Gronk had those big hands. You know, Gronk was pretty much the Randy Moss of receive tight ends. He could
Okay,
just
so
jump.
this is what I could do then. He has the ability to get away from defenders like the Travis Kelsey, but he has the power of Gronk.
Okay, yeah, yeah, he's a nice hybrid. I like that because his athleticism is definitely on par with Travis. Travis got nice feet and all that good stuff. But I love Brock Bowers. But no. I'm looking at this kid, Brock Vandegrift, the backup quarterback. I'm just looking at his stat. He said he had a deep ball. You seen that dart? He threw to Rara Thomas for a 56-yard gain. Um, and then he hit Oscar Delp for a 21-yard touchdown on the very next play. Um, and then
So so technically he got in for Carson Beck when it was like downtime of when they was blowing him out, correct?
yeah. He got garbage time stats, so you can't put too much weight on there. I was just looking at his arm. It seems like he has a stronger arm than Carson, but you're talking about 8 months of practice and off seasons and all that stuff. So I'm sure Georgia they chose Carson for a reason. But I'm just saying, if he ever goes down or something like that, I think it's going to be a quarterback controversy real quick because that kid in the back of him looks NFL ready.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking at the stats now. I'm trying to actually go to it for hope they don't I don't know why it's pulling up. Okay. So I do see it. Okay, Brock Vandegrift. He was 2 of 3, 77 yards, and a touchdown with a QBR of 72.6. Not too bad for garbage time. And
Yeah,
Gunnar Stockton played as well, 3 of 5, 29 yards. So, you know, if Carson Beck could keep it up and keep playing the way he played, against UT Martin, and if he can keep it up to beat Ole Miss in Tennessee, I
yeah,
mean, I think Carson might be able to keep his job, but it really depends on how Carson plays the rest of the season.
yeah, yeah. That's true. Because their run game was flat that last game. So it's going. I think as Carson goes, they go. But you're right about Tennessee and Ole Miss. I had those marked as the upset games because although Georgia don't have a lot of competition, they got those two games, and and I know everybody got them marked on their calendars.
Right. Yeah, I got it circled on my calendar.
Yeah, I didn't even know you was a volunteer guy, bro.
Oh, look, man, I've been a volunteer guy for a long, long time, man.
like that.
Peyton Manning days, man. Peyton
Yeah,
Manning days.
I want to say yeah. That's why
But
I was.
it's just not football though. I like their college basketball team as well. They women's college basketball team, they softball, they baseball, you know. But people gotta realize this too when it comes to my Tennessee Vols. We have a tougher schedule than Georgia. We
Mm-hmm.
do. Like even though we beat Virginia 49-13 on Saturday, Austin P, we still had to play Florida. We still had to play a UTSA that was good last year, that almost made it to the college football playoff if they didn't lose a few games.
Yeah.
We got to get our revenge against South Carolina after we lost to them. Then we
Mm,
got number 23 Texas A&M, number 4. This is our stretch
yeah. You're right.
between September 30th and November 18th. We have South Carolina September 30th. We have Texas A&M, which is 23rd ranked on October 14th. We
Right.
play number 4 Alabama on October 21st. Then we
Mm-hmm.
got to go to Kentucky, go to Connecticut, go to Missouri, and back home against Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all gonna.
Yeah, we got a tough little schedule for us. It's a little bit tougher than Georgia's, but
Very.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see the Vols. I'm not very familiar with y'all's program, and I will concede that I'm still learning. I kind of keep up with the more popular teams, of course, Alabama,
Well, we're
Georgia.
the 12th best team in the country. You gotta we
Oh, yeah,
popular too. We in the SEC. Come
that's my
on, man.
That's my fault, D Hop. I'm out here calling myself a sports journalist, and I ain't got no knowledge on the 12th best football team in the nation. So I'm gonna call my fault on this one, big bro.
No,
But
you good, you good. But listen, you gotta pay attention to that SEC. That is, I tell you, that's how the national championship is going to go through. It's going to go through SEC.
and that's why I'm glad I got my brother here, D Hop, man, because I'll be watching a lot of your channel, bro. I love you and I can't the other you
So
do
my
the
Mac,
Mac.
Mac, you got James for No Mercy Sports, and sometimes you got my guy Bug on there too. Bug be coming on there here and there, but you
Yeah,
know,
I've
I'm still
checked.
looking for. Listen, I'm still looking for some more members for the show, man. Listen,
Oh,
still looking for.
pull me up, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm always working. I love to, of course, other brothers that's in the content create. I learn from, I network, all that stuff. And I'm glad I ran into you, bro, for sure. So yeah, let's do it. Let's work, man, because I ain't doing nothing.
We'll talk. We'll talk more behind the scenes, man. We'll definitely talk more behind the scenes. So
Big fact.
you'll get your first whiff at it. 5:30 today. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Let me put the plug in for sure, y'all. Everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whenever you pull up to the video, please tune in at 4:30 today. Well, 4:30 Central Time. I'm in the Central, D Hop, and 5:30 Eastern Time. Oh,
Mhm.
is it Eastern? Okay,
Yeah,
Eastern Time.
Eastern Hot Chop. Yep.
Yes, sir. And y'all, please pull up and go for the first time going to the D Hop show, man. Much anticipation. I'm a big fan, so forgive me if I'm a little nervous up there, bro. I might be sweating, arms sweaty, mom spaghetti.
Listen, once I get off this live with you, man, I'm gonna go back to working on these topics because I was in a meeting. I got some news to break soon, but it's gonna be really, really dope. But I was in a meeting, so I'm gonna go back once I'm done with this live with you. I'm gonna go back to working on these topics and getting ready for the show, so I can send them over so you can be ready for it.
Big facts, yeah, sure. And we'll be ready tonight. Y'all tune in, tap into the D Hopping show. It's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna do a little vibe in the day. All right, let's move on to the next topic. D Hop, I got fantasy football picks. Are you in the league, broski?
But I had you were supposed to be a part of my league, but
I
it
apologize.
didn't turn out the way it was. But it's all good. It's all good. I got a pick'em league for like weekly picks. I have a pick'em league, so um, I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna try to see if I can open up a second league, man. Because
Hey, if
now
you
I'm
do
getting
that, bro, do
mad.
that. I was actually at work last night, and my boys they was hitting me, blowing me up like the draft in 2 minutes to 3 minutes. I'm like, bro. So I got auto picked. Although I got some good picks in my draft, I'm definitely looking for another league so I can authentically pick up some guys.
Okay, we'll talk more behind the scenes about that, though. We
Yeah,
will.
for sure. Facts. So let me ask you though, there was a lot of controversy around Justin Jefferson being number two. A lot of guys was as far as the consensus pick, in the draft. Do you disagree, agree, or are you just feeling different about that?
As far as him being a top player in fantasy football.
Yeah, yeah. And they talking about like over, running backs, quarterbacks.
Okay,
Uh,
so who's the number one consensus if Jefferson's number two?
uh hold on, let me tell you. The number one, it wasn't Mahomes.
Yeah, because when it comes to quarterbacks in fantasy football, you don't get those into the later rounds.
Yeah, and I had it all on my board, bro. But once we actually did our
Take your
draft,
time. Take your time. Because
um,
I would love to know who was number one if Jefferson is number two in fantasy football. Like, come on.
they had
Y'all got
Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry,
over Justin Jefferson?
C Mac. Yeah, it was just those three: C Mac and Nick Chubb, not Derrick
Okay.
Henry.
Okay. So, I mean, running backs are very valuable when it comes to fantasy football. So is wide receivers as well.
Tracks.
I'm not mad at Nick Chubb or Christian McCaffrey being over Justin Jefferson, but I mean, respectfully, I respect what they do, especially with Nick Chubb with the Cleveland Browns, and you know, Christian McCaffrey just was able to go to a good football team after leaving the Carolina Panthers. So
Yeah,
he just fits in what he fits in with the 49ers.
very well. Yeah,
Um, but when it comes to Nick Chubb, I can't really argue that. But Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the game, respectfully. I love
yeah.
my guy Devontae Adams. That's my guy. I'm a Raiders fan to the death of me. I'm
Man,
sorry, but respectfully, Justin Jefferson is the hottest receiver in the league right now.
yeah, yeah.
So if if you're a fantasy fan out there, if you want to go with Nick Chubb first, I'm not mad at that. If you want to go with Justin Jefferson first, I'm not mad at that because either way, or you're going with Christian McCaffrey first, I'm not mad at that. I just know all of them three is going to give you value in fantasy football.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't argue that. Now, if you would have said uh like a David Ojoku, or you would have said something somewhere out the woodworks, then I would have had a different perspective on like
Yeah.
y'all drinking the wrong Kool-Aid here. But yeah, I gotta respect Nick Chubb and Christian McCaffrey, man. But yeah, those top they are the top three. They might be top 5 picks
Yeah.
in everybody's fantasy this year. So
I was gonna say you can't put Justin Jefferson too low. I mean, like I said, I've heard some people arguing about it, but it's like, well, if you ain't gonna have him at 2, you can easily you got to be at 3 or 4 because that kid's putting up Moss like numbers. We haven't seen anybody doing this stuff since Moss. So,
and wish I agree, but I got a question for a lot of fantasy owners.
but,
Now, even though that Justin Jefferson is he's the top receiver in fantasy at his position.
mm,
Agreed.
mm,
But now not having Dalvin Cook there to help out the running game. How is
mm,
that going to work for Justin Jefferson now? Because Kirk Cousins is going to have to throw the ball too many times because they got the guy Addison Madison, but he's
mm,
not a Dalvin Cook. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm just that's the thing that I'm really concerned about. But I think Justin Jefferson still gets his numbers.
Well, I would say this to segue off your point. Justin Jefferson is a system player, a lot more than like Randy Moss and T.O. was, where you could just throw the ball to him and they'll make a play. Justin Jefferson is a lot more a systematic kind of receiver. That's how he gets his plays. But I feel like without a Dalvin Cook there, it's going to be up to him to make those big plays, and we're going to see what he's about now. Because you're right, once you got a star or at least a stud as a running back, your defense has got to account for that, which opens up a lot more opportunities for you. And now that everybody has a lot more tape on Justin Jefferson, which is something I've noticed about the NFL, man. When these dudes come in from college or wherever, they start, hot. They eventually just taper off because the NFL gets tape on you and they start figuring out how to stop you. My most glaring example of this was Cam Newton. When Cam Newton first came into the league, he was just doing whatever he wanted. And all of a sudden, it just seemed like we didn't hear from Cam Newton again. And I just believe that's because people got that footage out on him. But I wanted to make one more point. Devontae Adams is my guy too, bro. I don't know if you see, I got Aaron Rodgers jersey up here, bro. I'm a Packers man. I hated to see my boy go, but I like that. What you think Devontae gonna do this year? Y'all lost his quarterback, man. He only went over there. Y'all lost y'all's quarterback. I'm sorry. D Hop, me talk more respect.
listen,
You lost
listen.
your quarterback. So
Listen, everybody. One thing about being a Raider fan, you're going to have mixed emotions about Derek Carr.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
and I'm very critical of the Las Vegas Raiders, and a lot of fans don't like how critical I am.
yeah, mm-hmm,
And that's the Raiders' fault for putting in a trade clause for Derek Carr for him to go anywhere he wants to go, and then the fact that y'all could not trade him to get no compensation back and let him walk. That's the
yes,
Raiders organization's fault. That's
yeah,
their fault.
yeah,
Y'all didn't want him here at all. Devontae Adams, I mean, getting Devontae Adams was a scapegoat. It was a scapegoat because you knew that he was good friends with Derek Carr, and you knew that Devontae Adams is the godfather of Derek Carr's kids.
mm-hmm,
You knew that. So you use your powers to use Derek Carr for that 1 year, and you went and got Devontae Adams,
mm-hmm,
and y'all shipped him right out. But Devontae Adams, it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is when it comes to Devontae Adams. He's going to get the work that he's going to get.
mm-hmm,
And I know there's a lot of questions coming in about Jimmy Garoppolo and his durability due to the fact that he can't stay healthy. If this
mm-hmm,
offensive line could block for him, Devontae Adams will have a great year. And I think Devontae Adams led the league in receiving touchdowns last season.
mm-hmm.
So if you could keep him up to that part and keep him happy that way, plus winning games, I think Devontae Adams will be fine.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that 100% because it don't matter who throwing that young, it don't matter who throwing Devontae the ball, he gonna get it.
Right.
I seen
He gonna
Jordan.
go get it. It could be Jordan Love, it could be Derek Carr, it could be Brock Purdy, it could be anybody.
That's true. Yeah, he gonna go get his.
Right.
That's. I wanted to ask you too. It wasn't on the slate, but what do you feel about Jimmy G as the? Because I've always been high on the Jimmy G stock. I just feel like he's not been in the right situation since he's left New England. I feel like you should have stayed there, man. I don't know why they let him go. Honestly, I mean, I know
Um,
to keep Tom at the
they
top.
they actually they actually traded him. You know, they traded him to the San Francisco 49ers, and I have no issues with Jimmy Garoppolo. I just need him to stay healthy.
That's it. Yeah,
That's it. If you could play an all 17 game season, I'm for it.
yeah.
I'm
Respect.
for it. If he could play an all 17 game season, he can stay healthy and stay upright. The Las Vegas Raiders will be fine. We got Josh Jacobs back. Thank God we got him back in the times of times. Because
Facts.
I was nervous as hell. I was nervous as hell about he won't be here for week one. But that takes a lot off of Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the football when you have a guy that
Mhm.
has a workload like Josh Jacobs. So hopefully, Jimmy Garoppolo could come out and stay upright, and he'll be good, man. He'll be good. But I'm just if he I just need him to take a hit and get back up.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you on that. Jimmy G would if he played anybody other than the potential greatest quarterback of all time and Patrick Mahomes, I think he'd
Mhm.
be a Super Bowl winning quarterback right now. He'd have a ring. We'll be talking with him about putting him in the same class as the Joe Flacco's. Right? You know what I mean? Like, all right.
Oh man, I don't know about the Joe Flacco's. I mean, Joe Flacco, he wasn't. I mean, I'm not even gonna get into it because Mac might be watching this show and he might get on me because he's a Baltimore Ravens fan. So I'm not gonna go that far, bro. I'm just not.
You're right, no, you're right. Nah, Joe Flacco's the goal. Respectfully to Mac.
Right. Respectfully to Mac, I don't want no smoke. Nope. Mm-mm.
I like that, bro. And you made a good point. I'm excited that y'all got Josh Jacobs back. I don't like the 1 year deal because I feel like if you go anybody gets a multi-year deal in the running back position right now, it's the guy that led the league last year in his particular niche. And I hate the devaluation that's going on with the running backs right now. Josh Jacobs is a special dude. He's a special talent, man. He's one of
But
those
I
dudes.
understand why the Raiders did it though. I get it, and I understand why they did it because people fail to realize this when it comes to the running back market.
Mm-hmm,
They're nervous of paying a lot of people, of paying a lot of running backs that money due to the workload that they have and the
mm-hmm.
injuries that comes with it. But on as a former fullback, because I'm a fullback, I'm not a running back, I'm a fullback. So
No
I,
big
I
deal.
let that be known. But
Yeah,
as a former person that's in the backfield, I mean, they want to secure their insurance as well with that kind of money. So I see it from both sides. And the Raiders he came back on a 1 year deal because after the franchise tag went by, and after the franchise tag went by, he didn't sign the franchise tag, and through training camp, he didn't sign that franchise tag. Once it got closer to week one of the season, you can't talk about a multi-year deal anymore.
right. Yeah.
So it was kind of like Josh Jacobs, are you going to be on a standstill and wait to week 10 to come back, or are you going to play on this 1 million one with this 1 year deal that Mark Davis got to give you a $2 million signing bonus. That $2 million signing bonus, it doesn't go against our cap. It goes strictly out of Mark Davis's pocket, so it
Mm-hmm,
doesn't go to get our cap. And on top of that, he could get paid next year because $30 million is coming off of our books, off
yeah.
of coming, the Lamarcus Joyners, the Tahir Whiteheads, the Antonio Browns, all those contracts come off our books going into next season. So now you have money to re-sign Josh Jacobs to a multi-year deal because if you try to do it next year, that franchise tag number goes up. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to do a franchise tag for 15, $20 million, you better give him a multi-year deal. I mean, it's going to cost you more, but it's going to be more difficult to get him on a tag next season, knowing that money's going to be off the books. That's what a lot of people and a lot of Raiders podcasters don't understand about the business.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm glued to the screen because a lot of people don't even take interest into the business side of the game,
Mhm.
which you have to because people be wondering like, why did my team suck for so long? Well, they don't. Either your team doesn't want to pay nobody, or a lot of that business stuff comes into effect. A lot of
And
people
it
don't.
could, and that could come from the Raiders too. We don't like to sign. I've noticed that we don't like to sign big players either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Josh McDaniels is one of those coaches that likes to find players that fit his system.
Yeah.
He could
Mm-hmm.
have went out and got plenty of number twos that could have been, but he went out and got Jacoby Myers because he knows Jacoby Myers from New England. So he knows he's going to bring people that he know that's going to come in and that's going to work. And that's how it is. And a lot of Raiders players, a lot of Raiders fans feel like, oh, because we didn't get this big splash and stuff of that nature, we're going to be bad. The only thing I can say, there's one concern thing about this Las Vegas Raiders team going into the season is the linebacker position. I feel like we didn't and go out and go get linebackers. Even though we could have got one of those linebackers like a Tremaine Edmonds, you probably would have spent the bank on him. But linebacker core is really small for us. We drafted Amari Burney out of Florida, and
Mm-hmm.
Devon Diablo is still trying to come into himself. You
Mm-hmm.
have Robert Splain that we got from Pittsburgh, not a notable guy, but you know these guys were not better than Denzel Perriman. You get what I'm saying? So if you just would have found the quality of a Denzel Perriman in somebody else, I think nobody would have an issue. But people got to understand how 53-man rosters work, training camp works, and stuff of that nature. It's hard being an NFL head coach. It's hard being a head coach, period, especially when you got to cut players from 70 to 53 or 90 to 53. That's tough.
Yeah, yeah.
So
He working.
fans got to realize the business aspect of it as well.
Yeah, it'd be helpful, and I try to highlight that on my channel. Like, look, man, you know, it's a reason why things happen the way they do, and
Right.
get attached to your favorite player and all that kind of stuff. And your favorite player is, we can get into that. I want to do a show dedicated to the business, and hopefully the fans that don't are not attracted to that part of the game will be, because it gets very interesting. It's a whole different side of the game outside of the X's and O's. You know, like, all right, how much money have we got for my boy? Because you lose a Josh Jacobs, man. The next thing you're gonna be doing is looking for a Josh Jacobs. So
Yeah, you're gonna be looking, or and the thing about it is Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley or none of these guys. Um, you know, with the type of money they did, like how can I say this? Like Saquon Barkley went smart, he got his signing bonus. They're not trying to reset the market. They're not trying to get Christian McCaffrey's guaranteed money. They
yeah.
just want what their worth is.
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey is the highest paid running back as far as guaranteed money with 16 million a year. If
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley could get a multi-year deal, if Josh Jacobs could get a multi-year deal, and you give me 14 guaranteed, I bet you both of them would be fine.
Oh yeah. All right. And I think if you paid him, you talking about you might get a little bit more out of that orange. I mean, but like you said, with that business side, it's so funny, and I think as far as the running backs goes, Melvin Gordon, who else was that? Some of these dudes have just ruined the market, man. And I did a video about it, and it's just unfortunate for the guys that's balling out right now, because it's gonna probably be another couple years before anybody even starts valuing a running back like that. But I do say it's unfair, because I look at teams like the Dallas Cowboys, Dak getting 60 million a year. You know what I mean? Who else? It's just getting money that I don't feel like some of these quarterbacks that's getting astronomical money deserve it. When you can cut that pie up a little bit evenly and get you a good running back, because Zeke's supposed to still be on the running back, the Cowboys. Let me tell it,
Yeah,
but that got to get his, and this is a quarterbacks league right now, so it is what it is. I was
yeah,
gonna
it definitely is what it is.
I was gonna say, just to segue into the next topic, D Hop, I'm gonna try to get out of here at 1:30, an hour and 30 anyway. I meant. I wanted to get into this NFL opening week between, well, we got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. Uh,
Hmm.
well, excuse me, Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City. Kansas City will be at the crib for this game. Um, do you think Patrick Mahomes and company can repeat?
I think they can, but it's going to be a little bit tougher role because I think the AFC has gotten tougher
Very much so.
this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Um, and as a Raiders fan, I don't want them to repeat. I don't want them to repeat as AFC West champions. I don't want them to do nothing. I just want them to fall off the face of the earth so it could be a new crown in the AFC West. I'm so sick of the Chiefs. Well, I can't say the Chiefs now because now NFL season is here. As a Raiders fan, I could call them the Queefs. I could call them the Queefs, not the Chiefs, the Queefs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna call them. But outside of me being a rivalry fan, it's a possibility. You still got Buffalo out there. That's still a good football team. The Jets just got better. Um, Miami is a good team too. If Tua can stay 100% healthy, you still got the I don't want to say it, but the Chargers, aka the Chokers,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Los Angeles.
they still out there. You still have Cincinnati that been to two AFC championship games in the last couple of years with Joe Burrow. You've got a lot of teams in the AFC that you really gonna have to look for. Pittsburgh is an up and coming football team that
Mm.
nobody is talking about with Kenny Pickett and them boys.
Ooh,
I'm telling you, the AFC is going to be a little bit tougher for Patrick Mahomes, but if they could get through adversity, especially if Chris Jones could come back on that defense,
yeah,
that's going to be if he doesn't, that's going to be a concern.
yeah.
So, it's a possibility. I won't guarantee it, but it's a possibility they could repeat.
I respect that, and I was thinking the same thing. I think that Chris Jones um, holdout is a lot more impactful than people are thinking because, of course, we get caught up in the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, but
Mhm.
Chris Jones has been the anchor on that defense for all of those Super Bowl
He's
runs.
the best defensive player they got. If they don't
Yeah,
got him, they ain't shit. I'm just being honest.
and I hate to say it, man. I watching Stephen A. and Shannon Sharpe this morning, and Stephen A. really came out of his mouth and like Chandler Jones only got 2 sacks in the AFC Championship. And all that. I'm like, it's not about the stats with somebody with a guy like Chris Jones. You understand the only job you need somebody to stop the other quarterback, and that's what Chandler Jones, with Chris Jones. I was in Chandler Jones, thinking of the dude from Patriots, but Chris Jones is one of those dudes that can stop the opposing quarterback from getting comfortable at the very minimum. You don't want to joke getting comfortable. You don't want Aaron Rodgers getting comfortable. You know what I mean? And that's where you need those defensive rushes at. But I think that's a big element. I think that's the key to them repeating as well because Patrick Mahomes is going to put up his numbers. Travis Kelsey, everybody stay healthy. They're going to put up their numbers. But when it gets down to playoff season, you're going to need all your star guys, all your aces in their places. Um, but I like that, bro. What do you think about Detroit? You've been keeping up with them because they made some good off-season moves. Everybody's saying that they ended last year winning 8 games of 10. Their last 10, winning the last 8 of their 10 games. Excuse me. A lot of folks said that they won the draft. I didn't really keep up with who they got in the draft, but you got anything on the Detroit Lions?
Detroit Lions, I'm gonna tell you right now. People might be people might not like what I'm about to say about the Detroit Lions, and I'm just gonna be completely honest here. My bold take on the Savant show:
Yeah.
Detroit Lions will win the NFC North
Oh, over my boys because I'm a
over
Packer.
the Chicago Bears. I love Justin Fields. I
Yeah,
love the acquisition that you have, but if that offensive line does not block for Justin Fields, he's going to have another long year.
that's true. That's true.
That's been, and y'all got my guy from Tennessee, Darnell Wright. So
Mm,
hopefully he can help you out help y'all out for Justin Fields backside. But I'm just going to be completely honest here. They got Jameer Gibbs in the first round, running back out of Alabama. The guy was good. So
yeah.
they got linebacker Jack Campbell from Iowa, a dog, a
Mm-hmm.
dog. They got no, not was it Iowa? Yeah, it was Iowa. And then you
Mm-hmm.
got Sam Laporta, one of the best tight ends in that draft outside of Michael Mayer. You went and got him. You went and got Brian Branch, the DB from Alabama. They got my guy hitting Hooker as a backup quarterback and Broderick Martin. They got a nice little rookie class.
Yeah,
They brought a veteran Marvin Jones back. I
mm-hmm.
don't say they got rid of DeAndre Swift. I think they build on what they had last year. That's just my opinion as of right now. Minnesota, of course, Justin Jefferson, but they lose Dalvin Cook, and their defense has not been great for Minnesota. Green Bay is a lot of uncertainty with Jordan Love
Yeah,
and those guys. We don't know. And then they traded Zadarius Smith, to the Browns.
yeah,
And then with the Chicago Bears, I think y'all have the weapons in place. I think you have everything in place to try to try to outdo the Packers and the Vikings in this division.
yeah.
Your offensive line can hold for DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney, and Khalil Herbert as your running back. I'm telling you, if the Lions don't win it, the Bears will win it.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's what.
just they my top two
Yeah,
in that division. But I have the Lions at number one, Bears number two, Vikings three, Packers four. That's what I
respect.
have.
I like that.
But I I I have to say right now I'm on the bandwagon to proving differently for Detroit Lions.
I like that. I like that. And I'm nervous about the Lions too, man. Once they got on my radar, I was like, oh, okay. This ain't the this ain't the 1-11 Detroit Lions that we've been accustomed to.
They got the right coach,
Yeah, yeah. Wait. Who is their coach over there?
Dan Campbell.
That's right. Yeah. I know you just said it. And I like Dan. I like Dan a lot. He's gotten success everywhere he gone. Uh,
Hmm.
and Jared Goff too, man. I thought Jared Goff was a very solid, quarterback. At first, when the Rams traded him and for Matt Stafford, I didn't really understand it. Uh, I guess Matt Stafford was just a little bit more, Super Bowl ready than Jared Goff. But I've always been high on the Jared
I
Goff.
think they did that because I think the ties was coming for all the longevity that Matthew Stafford been there.
Yeah, respectfully.
So that's probably why they did what they did with that.
Right, send him on over to a contender, get him a ring.
Hmm.
Matt Stafford
Yeah.
was about to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks to not get it. He's put up so many classic games, big games, and stuff. So I
He was
respect.
just a dysfunctional franchise in Detroit at the time.
Yeah. And I hated to see Megatron go, man. I thought him and Matt Stafford was going to be one of those tandems like Joe Montana and Rice or Steve Young, right? They would have been one of those.
It
Or
it could have been, but I think he did what Barry Sanders did. He kind of lost love for the game when you're not winning, you lose love for the game. Nobody wants to keep playing the game to lose.
That's true. That's true. I respect that too. Yeah, and even I've caught up with Megatron. I've read some articles and stuff about him. After he stopped playing, seemed like he's happy. He's good where he's
Right.
at. He did what he wanted to do. But that's dope. All right, for our last topic, D Hop. Actually, it's kind of like two topics, kind of segue into each other. You can let me know how much you've been paying attention to this stuff because I've been very invested and tuned in into the new iteration of the Skip Bayless show, Undisputed. And now today we got the debut of the Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Tandem. They look like they're going to be two doing pretty good. But my first question is to you: have you been keeping up with this particular headline?
I've been keeping up with it. I think Club Shay Shay is um doing his thing.
Yeah,
Shannon Sharp was able to get on the ESPN, and now Club Shay Shay is with another network, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, the volume.
So congratulations to Shannon Sharp on that situation. Undisputed, I really don't get a chance to watch enough because of Skip Bayless antics. I used to love Skip Bayless all the time. I used to love him, but now his takes is so left field at this point. But I
Yeah,
do like the fact they got Keyshawn Johnson. They went and got it was Keyshawn Johnson,
you got
Richard
Sherman,
Sherman, and who was the last guy?
uh, the playmaker, Mike Irvin.
Michael Irvin. Okay. So even though Michael Irvin is really a part of NFL Network, but he's going to be on both. But
Mm-hmm.
I still think First takes it, honestly. I mean, if you look at the entertainment side of things, if you look at it when Stephen A. Smith was going up against Michael Irvin, entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
If he goes up against, it's been times he went up against Shannon Sharp when Shannon Sharp was at ESPN back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Great show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Skip Bayless makes those takes so you can have that entertainment from his counterparts.
Yeah.
It's vice versa with ESPN, where you have entertainment from two analysts that knows the games, that knows the sports. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Skip Bayless, but Skip Bayless, he's like one of those ones that he's so Dallas biased that
Mm-hmm.
he sees no wrong in the Dallas Cowboys. He
Facts.
sees no wrong. He don't
Mm-hmm.
feel like Dak Prescott should not be the quarterback or none of that. He says some things about LeBron James. He's like a LeBron James hater, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
like to call you. It's
Yeah.
just something that turns me off about Skip, that I'll just flick the channel and watch Stephen A. Smith. Because
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith is they. If you ever see me on a show, on a debate show on my channel, you'll see that my Stephen A. Smith can come out. It
Yeah.
really can. I met the man in person, and I told him that a lot of call me Stephen A. Smith 2.0. They do
Yeah.
call me that. So
I rock
I
it.
got his book. I signed his book. I got a book signing from him. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith for being at the Philadelphia Library a couple months back.
That-
Listening to him, he had a seminar and stuff like that. But um, I just feel like I'm more driven towards ESPN than I am FS1.
True.
just channels wise.
Yeah. And respectfully, I am as well, especially over the years. I will say that I was given Undisputed a chance because I'm a big Shannon Sharpe fan. I love Shannon Sharpe when he
Hmm.
played. Shannon Sharpe is one of those dudes that when he speaks, I get motivated. I love listening to talk. I do. I do have a disdain for his LeBron fanboyism. I don't
Right.
agree on that one. But Shannon Sharpe is he's very knowledgeable of the game, and come to find out, when I was watching him on Undisputed, he's very knowledgeable of basketball. Outside of LeBron James.
Yeah.
Um, so he's gotten my respect. I'm a very big Shannon Sharpe fan. Stephen A. I'm gonna say this too, D Hop. I don't know if you've heard my tagline on Stephen A.
Oh man.
Either I 100% agree with Stephen A. In the likes of like a Steph Curry or Michael Jordan take, or I 1,000% disagree with him in a Kwame Brown, Kyrie Irving take. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of I don't ever feel a gray area for Stephen A. I have mad respect for him. I've grown up on Stephen A. I would say Stuart Scott was my favorite. As far as when I'm
Oh
delivering.
yeah.
Uh, and unfortunately, rest in peace to Stewart. But that's why I model my journalism after. But these particular shows, I'm gonna say this, man. Skip Bayless is the godfather of trolling, and it's starting to. It's been showing. Skip Bayless cannot talk X's and O's. He can't really say outside of a pick and roll. He don't really know basketball like that. And
Exactly.
Mark Cuban called him out years ago. I don't know if you've seen that particular exchange between him and Mark Cuban after LeBron James won his first ring against the Thunder. Mark Cuban was on the show talking X's and O's. He was like, look, this is what they did good. This is what they did bad. And Skip Bayless was just like on robot mode, man. He just kept on saying, oh, no, LeBron James in the Miami, he played harder. And Mark Cuban was just calling that like nobody plays hard. When you get to a professional level, nobody is playing harder than the other guy. You know what I mean? Everybody's getting paid millions of dollars to play to their top level. You know what I mean? And what happens is a case of Darwinism comes out where the strongest survive. The best man wins, and so I feel like now that everybody's seeing that even the casuals are seeing that Skip Bayless really can't. He can't really do it what me and you are doing right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keep an interesting conversation going about the game. What he'll do is attack your character with the Westbrook stuff, or like Tom Brady, he'll just blindly on the Cowboys too. He'll just blindly just support you. Like, bro, you got to have some gray area with sports. I don't mean to get too long winded either, D. But I wanted to end it off with Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. I feel like this is going to be a great tandem, man. I feel like I watched their episode this morning. The chemistry these brothers have, they keep it very entertaining, informative. Like you say, I love Stephen A. I love Shannon Sharpe, and I thought these two coming together was going to be a dream team, especially at this point with everything that has happened over the years. Um, I'm loving it. So I feel like this is gonna be the one that puts get Skip Bayless out of here, man. I think Skip Bayless and Undisputed got 3 months max.
I want to say that because Michael Irvin is going to keep them around.
Okay, all right. Playmaker is
I,
there.
I, I think I think Playmaker is going to keep them around.
That's true. He's a star too. I love Michael Irvin when he's talking football, man. He
Right.
knows. But so let me ask you this, bro. I don't know if you've seen the most recent episodes they have, but they've been losing, viewers by the droves. Do you think it would be better if they just had Michael Irvin, Keyshawn, and Richard Sherman? This is my point about it. I like the show, but I would just enjoy it more without Skip Bayless. Do you think that is a possibility, or you think that show will have to
Oh,
go?
the only way that will happen without Skip Bayless if Skip Bayless' contract is up.
Yeah,
FS1 is going to pay him the money that he's going to be paid to be on that show.
fair
Because
deal.
I don't know what role Skip Bayless play as far as behind the scenes go, because I know that Stephen A is an executive producer for First Take.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he does more than just get on the camera and talk sports. He's an executive producer at ESPN for that show, First Take. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if Skip Bayless is an executive producer for Undisputed, but
Right.
it depends on what Skip Bayless' role is into that show. And we got to understand why he is there. Let's keep it real. Will it be an Undisputed if Skip Bayless never left ESPN and went to FS1? Absolutely not.
That's a
So you got to
fact.
you got to think of it. He's the ground floor of that show. So it really depends on what his position is what his contract look like and how long his contract is. If his contract is up and FS1 don't want to re-sign him, then they might just give it to them.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good assessment. I didn't even consider that. I figured he get the ESPN, get terminated early treatment. See you
Right.
later, bro. Yeah, despite you just signing the contract, but yeah, respectfully, and I was thinking that too. Like that show would have to go down with Skip. Although I would enjoy hearing Michael Irvin, more Michael Irvin and Richard Sherman go at it. They had a
Hmm.
good, interesting take between cornerbacks and receivers, and I feel like that take made the show go viral. That's been the best take on the show so far, but.
Right.
Nah, you right though, bro. I think that that contract and Skip's money. I don't know what his role is either, man. It seemed like Skip Bayless got FS1. He got some dirt on them, man, because ain't nobody watching that
Oh,
show.
agreed. Agreed. Whew, whew.
Oh yeah, bro. I know the feeling. I know it.
Oh
But
man, it's a lot of work I gotta do today, man, before I do this show. So I got a lot of stuff I need to do because back to work tomorrow, man. Back to work tomorrow.
yeah, enjoying this holiday. I said I was gonna be doing content all day today, bro. So yeah, we gonna get to work. But honestly, though, D Hop, that's all I have for the show, man. I definitely appreciate you pulling up for episode 1 of the Savant Show. My brother D Hopkins, like I said, I'll be on your show later on this afternoon. We'll be, talking a little bit more about this sports stuff. Uh,
Absolutely. If you want to like cross promote it and put it on your channel as well, just
yeah,
let me know and I can link both of those up at the same time. So just let me know.
heck yeah, bro. Like I said, we're gonna be doing a lot of talking behind the scenes. We definitely enjoy doing this, bringing this content to the people. We thank
Hmm.
you for pulling up again. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you get here. Any last plugs you want to put in, D Hop?
Just make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms at D Hopkins Show. You name the platform, we got it. D Hopkins Show, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that. All that Darian Hopkins Show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So definitely come check us out.
Facts. Definitely pull up to the D Hopkins show, man. I love it. Big fan myself. What we doing here. Tony the Savant. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff, man. Helps the channel grow. I definitely appreciate y'all. Love y'all. That's episode 1, man. Thank you for pulling up. Like I
Hmm.
say, 4:30 Central Time, 5:30 Eastern. You can kind of catch me going over to the D Hopkins show. Y'all pull up, and
Hmm.
we're gonna keep this going, man. Keep working, man. Happy Labor Day to everybody out there.
Peace out.
Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm not a player. I'm not a coach. I'm a savant. Get a goal accomplished, man.